Recording. Okay. Nutrition call Tuesdays, every Tuesday. So if you don't see the post go up, it's still going to come. The link will come before noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. But just know it will always happen. And the reason we can't have it just posted is because we have different links for each week. So what I want to start talking about is our nutrition group. We have 40 people in our group. And those are people who are doing 2B Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix or Ultimate Reset. We have one in there, two finishing it off. And it's just a way to help you dig into the programs. Because we have people saying, oh, I'm thinking of trying this or this. And we're like, you already paid for 2B Mindset and Ultimate Portion Fix. And don't discredit them because they're not big, nationally known. They're relatively new programs. But we can show you hundreds of transformation pictures. And in our crew here, Erin has had amazing results with 2B Mindset. Angela's getting amazing results with 2B Mindset. I'm maintaining my weight with 2B Mindset. Mary Beth has seen great changes with Ultimate Portion Fix, and Tabitha had amazing results last month. And we have a bunch of other people in our group. We just need to, showcase more of these to show you how effective these programs are. To be honest, every nutrition program can work like anything if you follow it. But is it sustainable? Is it something you can do long-term? Is it something that's going to lead you to binging because you're too restrictive? Is it something that's going to make you drop weight too quickly that you can't quite keep up? There's a lot of things you need to consider. These programs are sustainable. There's tools to add. I mean, you can add treats in. Treats are treats. You just get back on track. It's like, I see people post, oh, it's no limits today. I can have whatever I want. So you're going to overindulge for 3 meals and snacks. 1, you're going to feel crappy. 2, you're going to stockpile all those calories back in you've saved for the week. And it's not going to have great benefits to you. So have a treat on another day as well, if that's what you feel you need. It's more sustainable long-term. I mean, I have wine every weekend, and it's what works for me because I calculated in. It's not even calculating, it's not even a numbers game. Because a calorie is not a calorie. And you'll find sometimes you're like, oh, that was super high calorie. I ate so many calories. I'm going to gain 5 pounds today. I mean, by numbers, it can seem that will happen, but you won't as long as you hydrate and you get back on track. I mean, a calorie is not there's not a perfect numbers game science, in versus out. Your body treats calories differently depending on what you need at the time. There's days you can eat barely any calories and the scale doesn't move. So it's not one day and done. This is long-term marathon. It's about eating well to fuel your body, to enjoy your food, and to feel your best. I mean, tracking, the reason we really promote tracking is if you feel really crappy the next morning, you can maybe go back and evaluate your sleep, what you ate the day before, how much water you had. I mean, there's so many things that can affect how you're going to feel the next day. If your belly starts bloating, chances are it's something you ate. So if you're tracking what you're eating, you can kind of backtrack it and figure it out and maybe cut that out, maybe decrease it, maybe limit when you have it. So you're feeling your best. So back to the nutrition challenge. We're not so much breaking down these plans because you have all the videos. You can go through them and that's you. We're not going to babysit you and take you through each video. You get to do that on your own time, but we're here to answer questions. We're here once a week. We're here a lot more than that. We're always in the groups. We can schedule one-on-one calls with you. It just has to kind of work with our schedules, but we're willing to work to help you guys because we want you to see results. Adding the shakes in, you can see how effective that can be. adding some movement each day. It doesn't have to be a regular workout, but keeping your body moving is important, and adding enough water. So join the groups. We have meal plans in there. Today is the deadline to be included in the first week's raffle, but we will allow you to join the group. We haven't quite decided. Tomorrow night for sure, midnight Pacific Wednesday, we will have a deadline, but tonight is the night for week 1 raffle. And there's a $5 buy-in. Like you have to sacrifice 1 Starbucks coffee, and we're raffling that back. Each week, a third of the money goes out to participants in the group who are filling out the forms. You do have to fill out the form to say you've done your meal planning and you've scheduled and you've set yourself up for success. Because if you're not setting yourself up for success, you're not gonna get there. And that's, again, why we're running the group. We want to help you, show you what we do to see success, because everything's there for you. So do you, the rest of you, have any successes to share, questions, meal plan ideas, or questions or thoughts? Angela. I can't hear you. Oh, okay. There you are.
I'm challenged. I'm telling Erin this earlier. I'm like, I can't even do this. Okay, so I told Erin earlier this week that my scale has not been moving too much, like a half a pound. And but then I did my measurements to fill out my form. And when I did do it, I found that those pictures I did at the end of February that showed the before and the middle of the line, I'm down 5 inches in my waist since the February. I'm down 5 inches in my waist, 3 inches in my hips, and 2 inches in my chest. So
that is awesome.
Yeah, so I wasn't so discouraged about the scale because, you know, we have our lady thing come along and all that stuff. So I was just sitting there thinking maybe that's what it was, you know. But anyways, just wanted to share that.
And that is why we want, in the before and like of this group, we want not just weight, we want photos and measurements, because that's it right there. Because our body readjusts, right? We add in, whether we're adding in muscle, whether we're, you know, our body's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to take a little bit off this boob this week, and I'm going to take a little bit of off here this week, because it's not always going to be even. But it's not going to be, that scale is not going to be, and you know, we have these preconceived notions of what that number should be on the scale. But you know, I was just saying, we're talking about weight the other day, and I weigh 175 pounds. My goal is 170. I'm almost 6 feet tall. Someone else in the group is going to weigh 140 or 120 and look proportionally the same. So there's no number that we should all strive for, because we're all different. And you really have to take that in. And even your 20-year-old self is very different than your 45-year-old self. So your body's going to hold things differently, and embrace what you are and what you're accomplishing and what you're doing. And especially your children you've created, like, you've done some big things, mamas. If anyone has got a challenge pack recently, they have redone the Quick Start Nutrition Guide. Some great recipes and just great color. And I'll be sharing in the group. I just made the wrong page. The crunchy vegan veggie wraps. I had collard greens in my fridge, and so I wrapped my stuff in that. It was really amazingly good, and I am so full. So trying new things is always important. Does anyone have any new recipes on their meal plans this week that they added in?
I'm making the chickpea curry, I think it is. I think it was from Fixate. I think so. Or maybe it was in one of the meal plans. I can't remember, but I pulled that up. I got the stuff to make that. So I'm sticking with the vegan plan. but you know, I'm following the Ultimate Portion Fix. I'm not following the reset, but I am using some of the reset recipes. But the Ultimate Portion Fix, the vegan plan really is very similar. So I'm bracket A for UPF, and the vegan bracket A is just you have 2 more greens, and then your carbs are broken into A carbs and B carbs. But other than that, and then this obviously the sources of protein are a little bit limited, but I can have beans. There's plenty of things that I can have. So I printed out the vegan container list just so when I'm grocery shopping. But I did buy some chicken this week for the kids. But what I'm finding has really been helpful is I'm not buying crap. I'm not buying stuff. I'm just not buying it. There's fruit and there's vegetables. I mean, they still have those goldfish, which have 0 nutritional value. But you know, I'm limiting them, and they're getting 1 bag of those. If they have it early in the day, great, whenever, but you're not going to be eating stuff like that. My 13-year-old will eat stuff like that all day. He's looking for garbage. My little one will eat like a whole avocado, like oranges, apples, all whole foods. I put pasta in front of him. He doesn't want it. So he's looking for whole foods, which is great. So, and I'm starting to use some of the kid materials. There's a graphic organizer for kids. I'm going to actually laminate it and kind of work through that with Timmy. But yeah, I'm just not having this stuff. And you know what? When the stuff is in here, if they're hungry, they're going to eat what's here. So yesterday been putting out vegetables first, just raw vegetables. And then that way, when they sit down for dinner, if they've already grazed over the vegetables, that way, like you said, Nicola, if they don't eat the vegetables, not as big of a deal because they've eaten some probably before. So I'm just not having the processed stuff, you know, I'm not saying they won't ever have it, but I'm drawing the line in the sand with this.
And it's about making small changes too, right? It's about or even just focusing less on what you're cutting out, but adding in those veggies before dinner, having cut up veggies in the fridge available all the time so they can go in and grab it. It's a gift. It's a gift for our kids. Like, so later in life, they're like, you know what, I'm going to choose the veggies. Like, it's truly amazing when you see them go out and they like, I would be the
one I worry about. My older kid is the one I worry about. I mean, he's 75 pounds, he's 13. And you know, he has a slender build. He has Charlie's, he's slender, right? But he does not eat enough. He doesn't even think a teenager, they're going to eat, you know, he just doesn't compared to every kid on his baseball team. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like eating like giant sandwiches and like tons. And I'm like, how could you even have energy? So it frustrates me that I'm doing something wrong, but I just have to keep, you know, showing up with the
wrong. They have,
I mean, I'm like, how could he, you know, so, you know, he knows, he asks, he says, can I have more pretzels or something, you know? And I'm like, how much have you had of that today? And I don't mean to shame him. I'm like, you got to eat to fuel your body.
Veggies first, then you can have some more.
Veggies first, yeah.
And hummus, having like hummus and dips like that to dip into can be really effective. I just made homemade hummus too for my lunch.
Nice.
So I printed, it's not there. There we go. I'll put it close to me. There is a few planners. So for planning your meals, which is what we're doing in the nutrition group, planning at least for 5 dinners a week and preferably for more, but printing out something, we have menus. You can print out the whole menu and follow that 100%, or you can mix and match from the menus from the books. Following a specific menu with a shopping plan is of course easiest because then you don't have to think about it. But if you have a picky family or something's up, just choose your meals, write them down, plan leftovers for lunch. Like, don't overcomplicate it, and then just go shopping and get stuff that works. I also, why am I cracking you up? At the top, I also put other meal options I like. And then I've already subbed one out. Like I was supposed to have tuna noodle casserole for lunch, and I had ingredients for the crunchy vegan veggie wraps, so I switched it up. So allow yourself the ability to make changes. So you don't go, oh, forget it, I messed up,
Yeah.
I'm having fast food. That's never an option. Keep your go-tos, like frozen packaged fish I keep in the freezer, vegetables in the fridge, frozen vegetables in the freezer. So you have those easy things in a pinch, and then you got them. You got them.
I wrote down for this week, right on my workout calendar, I just wrote the dinners right underneath it, because breakfast and lunch is not hard for me. That's not my issue. It's usually the dinners and then the stress that it creates when I'm not organized. And then, yeah. So, and I'm choosing a lot of stuff that I can put like chicken on the side for the kids, or, or for Charlie. So we're making it work. Charlie liked that protein pesto. It's made with cannellini beans. It's not from the Reset, it's from Fixate. It's like a sauce I made in my cooking blender. It's so good. It's almost like a hummus consistency, and you can put like a big tablespoon in with some pasta and make it like a cold salad, and then put raw veggies on it. It's super, super good. But even Charlie liked that. I mean, he knew it was vegan, but he's doing it. He's going to do the reset starting on Monday. He wants to do it again.
Just the whole meal.
No, he's going to do all of it. He's going to do he's going to follow in the crunch menu. So he'll, like he did because he's traveling. So it's just too hard to, make all the things, but he just does salad and rice and beans and keeps it really simple, but it works. What do you got there?
Helping take out.
Grilled chicken, nice work.
And you can find options at almost any restaurant too. You just have to sometimes tell them your restrictions. And I mean, you can say it's allergies. If you are self-conscious about, saying I'm just trying to eat healthier. Like I played in a tennis tournament last night, and I went and checked in after our game, and the tennis pro's like, oh, well, there's food out there if it fits in, something you can eat. And I'm like, can I give you a signal right now? Like I can eat whatever I want to eat. I said, I'm pretty sure I can probably find something that'll work, but thanks. Like, oh, and they'd actually laid it out. So vegetables were by themselves, and then they had meat and tofu, and then you put your own sauce on. I'm like, that should work for pretty much everyone, I would think. So always go with what you never worry about other people. Like you're doing this for you, not for anyone else. And if people aren't comfortable, it's usually because they're not willing to make changes, and they're self-conscious about themselves. So they put it onto you. And I'm like, no, not happening. Not happening. But we won my tennis game last night.
Chrissy said her husband needs to get on this call. Why? Oh, is he serving you up some naughty things?
He succumbs to peer pressure. That's what so many people do when they go out there. You go out to eat, or you stay with someone and they keep serving you food. Well, I mean, even Tabitha said, your parents serve you, you feel you should eat what they're serving. And it's totally like, it's fine to go and change things up. But also being able to say, hey, I brought my own shake for breakfast, I'm good. Like if all they have is donuts and whatever, that just doesn't start my day very well, but.
Oh, when I eat that, I just want more of that. Like if I eat a donut, I'm looking for something like 20 minutes later. It's, you know, that sugar, and then I'm just looking at, same thing with I used to do a bagel and cream cheese every day for breakfast when I was teaching, and then I was just looking for more carbs, you know, all day long. So, and I don't need that. I need carbs, but I don't need the amount that I was doing for so long.
Yeah. And the other thing with eating, if you find you have something that doesn't sustain you as long at breakfast, consider moving your lunch earlier that day and then having your snack kind of in the middle between lunch and dinner. So like at 11 o'clock, if I'm feeling famished, let's have lunch rather than having a snack. And then I'm like, I'm not really hungry for lunch, but you know, you still have to fuel your body. But if you can't make it something that's nourishing, then just have your lunch. So, okay, I am going to, unless there's anything else, I'm going to stop recording and then we can.
Nicole, I think for the month of June, we should plan on getting some people to speak about their experience with the nutrition challenge. I think that would be good. You know, that might be a few calls